Good morning, everyone. Clint McLaughlin here with Midwest Market Management. It's Tuesday, June 3rd. Got Riley Sykart on with me here today. We're going to hop into Safrinha corn weather. Riley, boy, things are really kind of winding down there. Really, as harvest is getting into full swing for much of the region, as far down as Paraná, which is getting down into southern Brazil. Historically, it looks like they generally kind of wrap harvest up by the end of the month. And, it's not the most southern region of the Safrinha corn, but it's getting down there pretty far. And thus, it's really looking like weather aside from damaging weather to the crops in terms of storms or anything, or heavy freezes, which we've had some minor freezes, we're really getting down to weather's kind of becoming a diminishing uh, level of importance in terms of heat and precipitation. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep, especially in terms of that safrinha crop. I mean, talking about getting harvest wrapped up by end of June, maybe early July. I mean, we're at the phase now where kernels are getting finished, filled out, and drying down and getting ready to be harvested. So at this point, dry conditions aren't going to have a huge impact on other than just drying it down and letting harvest get underway a little quicker. So
Yeah. No, I would agree. Well, let's go ahead and jump into the maps, and I would anticipate that we'll probably end up doing about one or two more Safrina corn reports here, and then I think we'll probably be winding down for the year.
yep. So first thing, like always, still want to put in perspective how big this area is. Safrinha corn's anywhere from Mato Grosso all the way down through Paraná and pretty much everywhere in between. Mato Grosso de Sol also included in that. If you put into perspective how big of Mato Grosso is in the United States here, I'll swing this over. 50% of the Safrinha production is almost the entire Midwest. So this is such a large area when you're talking about in terms of how's the weather and for the Safrinha crop. You can't really put it into one sentence, but as we're getting to this time of year, it becomes less of a big impact. But as we're getting into it here, temperatures the 1 to 5 days show that Mato Grosso harvest is fully underway there. I would say for the Safrinha crop, and if not, it's knocking on the door. So warmer temperatures not really a hindrance at this point. I wouldn't say it's by any means an impact on the crop. So not a big deal there, seeing upper 90s. To the south last week, we did bring up there were some areas that did end up getting some frost. I don't think it was detrimental to the crop down there, but I think it maybe could have had some impact in spot areas from what I'm reading. Clint, you hearing anything different than that?
Yeah, I've read similar articles where damage did occur, but I don't think that it's not a massive shift in Safrina production.
No. So as we look into it here, previous 13 days of rainfall, that southern region kind of getting almost too far south of Safrina crop, just been absolutely blasted last 13 days. That trend's kind of continuing as we'll look into the coming charts. So we
Yeah,
move into
that's
the one.
probably your biggest risk factor now, Riley, would be some late season flooding or disease issues that become prevalent because they're still warm enough that the moisture would create mold issues or something. But again, much like we were talking about, even if that does happen and you get the disease pressure, oftentimes it comes with a lot of production, and therefore it becomes more of a cash or basis issue than it does necessarily a Chicago futures price oriented problem.
Yep, exactly. So as we're looking into the 1 to 5 day, more rains down there. Some Safrina regions are going to catch some of that rain. That southern region of Paraná, I wouldn't say this is a big game changer by any means. So not much reason to spend a whole lot of time on that. 6 to 10 days showing some more chances down there to the south. Other than that, continuing to be pretty zeroed out. So with that said, move it in the 1 to 13 where we put those two together. Paraná overall is going to get some solid rainfall. Mato Grosso do Sul is actually going to catch some in that southern half as well, which they're in the same state as Paraná. Any rain right now is too much is going to slow down harvest progress, but other than that, not really any big concern. So in terms of Safrinha crop clean, that's about it for the week. It's getting a little bit more quiet down there as farmers are revving up for harvest.
Yep, sounds good. And I mean, it just seems like the market's also continuing to just shift its primary focus here to the Midwest. Has been for quite some time. So I appreciate you putting the maps together. And if you like the Safrinha and US weather reports, feel free to reach out. You can find us at midwestmarketmanagement.com, and we can get you those sent directly to your phone via text message. Riley, I appreciate it, and everybody stay tuned for U.S. weather. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.
This material has been prepared by a sales or trading employee or agent of Midwest Market Management and is in the nature of a solicitation. This material is not a research report prepared by of Midwest Market Management Research Department. By accepting this communication, you agree that you are an experienced user of the futures markets, capable of making independent trading decisions, and agree that you are not and will not rely solely on this communication in making trading decisions. Distribution in some jurisdictions may be prohibited or restricted by law. Persons in possession of this communication indirectly should inform themselves about and observe any such prohibition or restrictions. To the extent that you have received this communication indirectly and solicitations are prohibited in your jurisdiction without registration, the market commentary in this communication should not be considered a solicitation. The risk of loss in trading futures and/or options is substantial, and each investor and/or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated by simulated historical tests of strategies, is not indicative of future results. Trading advice is based on information taken from trades and statistical services and other sources that of Midwest Market Management believes are reliable. We do not guarantee that such information is accurate or complete, and it should not be relied upon as such. Trading advice reflects our good faith judgment at a specific time and is subject to change without notice. There is no guarantee that the advice we give will result in profitable trades.